the wake-up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told, the wake-up call. Hey, it's the wake-up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up. Let the truth be told, the wake-up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up.
All right, we're gonna play that again. Turn it down a little bit, David. Not cut it off, turn it down. Everybody stand up. Y'all got to get your exercise today. We got to dance on that. Play that some more. Play it again. All right, y'all get up. This is what we doing. There you go. Some of y'all ain't moving at all.
Let the truth be told, the wake-up call.
Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Don't let Don Uford out dance you. Hey!
Let the truth be told, the
Wake up. Hey, look at Big Ed. All right, turn it down slowly. Fade it down. Fade it down. Fade it down, not turn it off. You can fade it down. I was a DJ 107.5 WGPI. Friday nights, Ernie D's Campus Ballroom. So great to have everybody here again. It's the weather's starting to break, so that means many of you all who are afraid of the snow. I understand some of y'all don't have the proper treads on your tires and probably don't have the best insurance, so you stay home during the winter. But welcome, Brother David Felton is one of our co-hosts today.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
And here's Ed Collins. You know, Ed spent a lot of time in a certain place, so he loves stripes.
You're right about that. But
So now he has on his Kappa stripes.
I got something I want to say, and I meant
Pull
to
your
say
mic up a little bit.
It's something I
Pull
wanted to
this
say.
up. This part. This part. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's something I wanted to
There you
say
go.
last week. And
Wait.
Well, it's going to take a hot second.
We're doing introductions right now.
Okay.
Wait till we get to your moment.
All right.
Golly. You know, but when I get done with this, I can train gorillas and bears. Sabrina Athena, welcome to the show.
Speaking of gorillas and bears, what up, though?
Woo! Well, now you weren't referring to yourself, were you?
No, I'm a goddess.
Okay.
Everyone
Make
knows
sure
that.
you the goddess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that inferred or is that conferred?
Oh, it's confirmed.
No. Was it conferred or inferred?
About the goddess?
Yeah, right. And if it's inferred, that's something she created. If it was conferred, it was something that was given from above.
Well, it's conferred.
See, my daddy always tell me it's better for other folk to tell you who you are than you to tell them who you
I
are.
don't know. Got to be careful with that.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. I
I'm
mean,
just
you know,
saying. Watch the context, Reverend.
First of all, everything we say has an etymological etymology that sits in Laban.
Okay.
So it's always about the ears and the filters. And
Sound like you just
else.
spoke in tongues to
I'm
me.
talking about the folks. Who's that little girl over there? We got our youngest guest here today. Hold on. Who's that little?
Hey, baby.
There you go. All right, so we got a great show today. What's on your mind, Dave?
I'm just happy to be here. And, of course, we want to remember the good Reverend Jesse L. Jackson, who's being laid to rest and celebrated this weekend.
Right. Absolutely. We're going to deal with that in a moment. And Brother Ed, what was on your mind?
Well, last week I wanted to acknowledge the Honorable Mary Sheffield as our contribution to Black History Month because she is the first Black female mayor of the city of Detroit.
Yeah. You 2 weeks late, though.
Well, I tried to do it last week, and y'all have cut me off.
Okay, well, that's because you're so emphatic about stuff.
Well, hey,
erratic, emphatic,
but I'm real.
And you bring a whole lot of static.
But I'm real.
Yeah, well, you
can't nobody call me a liar.
Okay. He's a Mary Sheffield fanatic.
That's what to David's point, not to your face. All right, Sabrina, what's on your mind?
I'm just happy I got over 10 hours of sleep last night. Can I get a clap for that?
That's important.
The thunderstorms put me out.
Yeah. Well, I was throwing lightning bolts last night. There's a few folks that woke up this morning singed. I didn't want them, burned up. I want them to know that I do have some fire I can deliver on occasion. All right, look here. Let's let's show our announcements. Make sure everybody's plugged into what we're doing. So next Wednesday, this is Bruiser Wolf, by the way. This is one of Kevin Durant's artists. I understand Kevin Durant is coming next Wednesday night at the Bridge Center. That's Brenda Harris's brother. You know, our dear love Brenda who passed. This is her brother. He's a really big rap artist. Sits in my church every Sunday. Someone came from out of town. Said, "Man, that's Bruiser Wolf. Who's Bruiser Wolf?" You know. And I was in New York and had a conversation with somebody that was at the NBA office. Erica Sweeley will be on, by the way, from the NBA. And Kevin Durant was there. He said, "Man, you don't know who Bruiser Wolf?" I said, "No, I don't know who Bruiser Wolf is." But anyway, Bruiser Wolf. Woof, woof. Who let the dogs out? Next. All right, this is our Wellness Mirror Talk Women's Support Group, March 24th. I don't know why you need a special group because women love to get together and talk anyway. And one of the things I tell women in my church, don't get with a group of women and talk about your man or your husband. If he's bad, you know, some of them will make him better. If he's good, they want to try.
Hey, on that note, there was a story about a lady said, she said, "He can't. You said your husband can't talk. He can't dress." She said, "Oh no, he ain't got to talk for me. I teach him how to dress."
I hear you. Next. So it's my 15th and my church's 15th anniversary. We're blessed to have my dear friend. He calls me his father, his uncle, all that. Jamal Bryant at the Bridge Center on March 25th. We've got Marvin Winans, a bunch of people coming. We had to change the date from the 18th. His father was diagnosed with prostate cancer and having a procedure that week that he was due to come. So we were able to push it back a week, and really excited and delighted that my good friend and brother is coming. Next. So now, let me be real clear about this. We're having a customer resource fair, but it's more than that. We're distributing food. We'll have the Department of Neighborhoods here. But if you want help, I had an elderly lady yesterday whose bill was $2,000 that I was able to get taken care of through Thaw. Jennifer does this all the time, SERs, whatever they call them. But you've got, for this one, you've got to register. Sit back, Sabrina, to make an appointment, call Thaw at 800-866-8429 or visit thawfund.org. Register for this. They will help you pay your bills. April 1st, how many seniors here? Raise your hand. Oh, yeah. April 1st, they can start cutting off your bill. I know some of us don't pay the bill during the moratorium, and then we got a $2,500 bill. So if you don't know how to do this, come in and see Jennifer. She'll register you for this event. You're running for office. If people can vote for you, need to come out and shake some hands. Next. This is trap therapy. You know, if you trapped or you want to trap somebody, come get some therapy, figure out how to trap or be untrapped. Next. That's no name of clinic. This is our only fundraiser we do all year. We give away everything. We do everything. By the way, I want you to know that Ford Motor Company or Ford Philanthropy gave us a grant yesterday. We finally got it. It's called Ford Fresh, which enables us to buy fresh food. We're partnering with Grand Price down the street. When that's all in place, if you go spend $1, they'll give you $3 more as long as you're buying fresh fruit, produce, and vegetables. But this is how we do it. We raise money. And we have an evening with Ken White, Randy Hall, and Stokely at the Music Hall. We're giving some tickets away every Saturday, but we need some people to go buy some tickets and support us. Tickets are starting to move. We need to sell every single ticket in the house. Next.
Yeah, this is our fundraiser for the State of the Race.
Yep, it's the only one we do. Now, here is Donnell Wallings on June the 10th. You want to come out? And all these are on Vit Noir. Keep going. I don't take the and then we have a comedy night with Joe Claire. You should know Joe Claire, Henry Welch. We got another person we added. Got a guy coming from New York who had opened for Mike Epps on occasion. That's going to be well, back up. What was the date?
April 8th.
April the 8th. Okay, that's next month. Next, we're raising money for the 100th anniversary of the Harp and Vocal program at Cass Tech, my class, CT 72 Fun Time Society. Please support this. Tickets are $50. We're trying to raise enough money to buy one harp for that program. The harps that they have are in ear repair. They cannot be fixed. They need 4 new harps. Wow. And each harp is about $10,000. Next. Oh my. And here you go, Christopher Williams.
Don't wake me.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming.
New Jack City. I know all you ladies come out. He told me to tell you bring an extra pair of underwear so you can throw them at him.
Bless
Next.
the Lord on today.
And of course, we're going to Chicago. By the way, the two vehicles are filling up. This is a great trip. I preach on Sunday, but we go to Riddle's Comedy Club on Friday night. Saturday, go to Chicago Premium Outlet Shopping. That's what really people want to do. Great shopping, great opportunity. Only $300 if you room with somebody. $350 covers hotel, transportation, and everything else. Last, is that it? And then our state of the race. We've got Alexis Kerr, who is now vice president of Honda. She was president of Hallmark Cards. Attorney Ben Crump will be bringing his book, Angela Yee from iHeart. And, of course, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. This is absolutely free. All right. Let's introduce our guest, Sabrina.
Oh, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. We have an incredibly important and special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Don, who honestly, that's what he told me his name was Don. But on the paper, it says Don Ufert. He's candidate for U.S. Congress from Michigan District 11.
Thank you.
Both names work.
Both names work.
Both names
I like
work.
Speak right into the mic. There you go.
That's right.
There
I
you
like
go.
being personable. I like how you just
There you
came
go.
on in and sat down and introduced yourself as Don. But really, who?
Don the Democrat, right? Let's get
That's-
that clear
that's
up
right.
front.
That's right.
We're not supporting any Republicans.
That's right.
We got to get Democrats in office.
You got it.
They've done enough damage already.
Yeah.
And
understood.
still keep doing it.
Well, they're
The
going to keep doing it
Republicans are
until
going
we
after it.
stop them from doing it.
That's
and
right.
The only way we can stop them from doing it is stop talking and voting.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead, Athena.
Absolutely. I want to know more about who you are and why you want to run for Michigan Congress, like District
No,
11.
not Michigan Congress,
I'm
the
sorry.
U.S. Congress.
U.S. Congress
Michigan
for
District
Michigan
11, yeah.
District 11, excuse me.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you know what? I want to go out and run because we got to do things, and I want to help make sure that we're helping Michiganders. And this administration is not helping Michiganders. And I grew up. Mom and Dad always, put in my heart that we got to make sure that we're helping everybody. And so, I got a chance to go off to college, got a degree, Pell Grants helped me, U.S. government helped me go and do that.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
And came to Michigan. What a great place. Got a job at Ford Motor Company, was able to work on cool vehicles like the F-150 and raise a family.
So you worked in the plant?
I worked in the Engineering and Research Center here in Dearborn.
Okay.
So
you're in the glass house.
and then spent not there. Sorry about that. I'm not quite like that. I didn't get to be able to go up there very often. And when I did, I was in trouble. So, that's about like going to see mom and dad.
Going to the
Yeah.
principal's office.
Going to the principal's office. That's right. But then-
upstairs was upstairs.
Then when I retired, I went out to U.S. Department of Commerce in the Biden administration.
Mhm.
And then I went over to the White House to work on the EV transition for President Biden. Super cool. But then as the Reverend points out, the new administration comes in and I'm out of there.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
2025.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So-
So recently
yeah.
from Washington.
I left when Trump came in 2025 is
Yeah.
just
So
Yeah, that was unacceptable.
anyone who does not understand the significance. By the way, I worked for Charles Diggs for about 6 years. I was a constituent representative, worked here in the district office as well as in Washington, D.C. I know the real work is helping people who have issues with Social Security. In fact, I want to give a shout out to Senator Gary Peters. I have a dear friend of mine in California who's had two members that were stuck in Dubai, and they're coming home this morning. They put them on
Amen to
military
that.
transport. Gary Peters. That's the kind of stuff that people don't know about. That's important, right? It is your work. So I guess what I want.
and
Go ahead.
helping them get those benefits like veterans benefits,
Right,
when
yeah.
they aren't
Yeah.
getting those.
Well-
I mean, they have earned those,
Yes.
and we want to make sure that they get them.
And more importantly, people who are citizens and veterans and entitled to things don't automatically get the help they need.
That's right.
So when I worked for Charles Diggs, if you didn't do constituent logs and share how you would resolve issues, he didn't need you because he said that was the grits and the grind of his work, being a wedge between passing the buck and red tape. But I want to go back to a couple of things that I think are most important because right now we see all this stuff happening with Trump. The Congress does not vote, to compel him for War Powers Act.
What?
I mean,
It's a lot
what
going
what
on.
is the
Unbelievable.
fundamental thing that you think differentiates a Democratic administration versus what we currently see?
Yeah. As a Democrat, we care about people. We got a vision for how we're going to help people, and we care about people. We want to make sure that there's good government out there that's working for the people, helping the people, and we're going to be transparent about it. None of this stuff about the war where, well, I'm going to go to war and I'm going to go to war because this, and then tomorrow change my mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It's unauthorized. It's
Yeah.
not authorized. They don't have a clear goal. And frankly,
Yeah.
American servicemen and
Yeah.
women are getting killed.
No, and Trump is saying, "How dare you choose another leader without talking to me?"
Trump
it's
also said there's going to
insane.
be more American bloodshed
That's
coming
right.
soon.
All right, let's do this. Dave, you're next.
Yeah, I just want to know, as a congressperson, should you be elected, your commitment, like Bishop said, to the constituents. We just had a vote about releasing those that might have some criminal sexual stuff in their backgrounds, and they most of the Democrats and most of the Republicans voted against it. And so to me, that speaks to the integrity of to personal constitution of those individuals. How can we, or what would you do to change that? Once we get you in office, and can we count on you to
Yeah.
be who you are now? Can we count on you to be as engaging as you are now? Will that manifest and translate to you when you go to DC, if you make it to DC?
Yeah, number one, it seems like the system is rigged out there where people, as I get into this, I thought the thing that you do is you go out and meet people, you listen to people, make sure you understand the issues. And of course, you got to raise money in the process. But it seems like some of the career politicians, they've been in long enough that they get money from corporate PACs. And, they listen to those corporate PACs. And by the way, they can also do individual stock trades, in those same corporations. That ain't right. You don't end up listening to your constituents in that case. And that's why, I'm interested in going out and talking to real people. And when I'm talking to real people, they're telling me, number one, hey, Don, we want to make sure we got good jobs. I know somebody in Washington said it's a great economy. Like baloney.
Yeah.
You know what?
I just got my gas this morning. It was over $4 a gallon for mid-grade gas.
It's terrible. I don't know where he
And they
came
said it's
up
going
with
to go
that.
up. I listened last night. They predict 25 cents per gallon per week
That's right.
while this is going on.
Well, and that gets to the affordability, man. Lowering cost, it's important, whether it's utility costs or whether it's housing costs. Housing costs have gone up 20% because of these tariffs. That's flat out wrong.
Yeah.
And then protecting our health care, the cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, unacceptable. We need a public option out there.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're restoring those cuts
Yeah.
because people need health care. I don't care who you are, you need health care. And as an American citizen, we got billionaires out there. They're just making a ton of money on this administration, the best friends of this administration, it appears. And then we got people that don't have health care, don't have housing.
Yeah.
That's flat out wrong.
So let me just say this, and then we're going to come to Ed. I've been telling everybody you need to connect the cause or the circumstance of the cause. Now, I've got, supplemental insurance for my Medicare. I'll be 72. I waited till I was old enough so I didn't have to, offset my income. But I went for the first time to get some prescriptions filled yesterday, and it was $600 and some. I've never had to pay that. And so I'm talking to the pharmacist, and he's sharing with me the difference in what happened with the Medicare and the funding and all of that, as opposed to paying maybe $20, my whole, amount of money that I got to pay in is like triple before I get to the point where I reach that threshold. So people who tell me it doesn't make a difference about who's in the office is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I'm afraid it's going to get worse.
It's
Because
going-
some of those
It
cuts,
hasn't really all kicked in
it
yet.
hasn't all kicked
Yeah,
in yet.
right,
That's
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
a problem.
yeah.
And, I'm also fighting for our basic freedoms.
Right.
Because our basic freedoms are under
Right.
attack.
But
with
by
this
the way, I'm going to give you
administration,
some free consultancy. The Democratic Party uses my 3D, don't do Duggan. I've got something for you that will really resonate with everybody. Okay?
Yep.
Ed?
Yes. Now, a lot of us are unaware of where District 11 is within the state because I'm quite sure that those districts are not the same as within the city. Now, what would be the advantage for that your district that you're running for to have you be elected as opposed to who's already there?
Yeah. So my district is District 11 is Oakland County, and so most of Oakland
Is
County.
it an open seat?
It's an open seat. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
right. I
Haley
wanna make people
Stevens
know
was
that
in the
she's running
seat.
for
She's running for Senate,
Senate,
now,
right,
so it's
yeah.
an open seat, right? And I'm the only one in the race that has raised a family here in the area and has also done extensive community service with First Robotics and with Scouts and church, and has worked in the federal government.
And you're the
because
only one in the
what-
race, by the way. Hold on. They came and sat down and talked with me.
Well,
I mean,
well,
you
thank
remember
Yeah.
that, right?
I remember you gave me good advice
There you
that
go.
I've been utilizing,
Okay. All
by
right.
the way. So thank
I'm gonna give you some more in a minute.
Well, I'm going to take it.
Yep.
And, also has that industry experience out there because, listen, this is a complex issue, like you just talked about, Reverend, where you got to be able to understand how you're going to pull the levers of federal government to help people. Well, I don't want to sit around learning, and I got that experience already. I know where to pull, and we got to be ready in 26
Yeah.
because we got to win in 28. We need to win in 28. We need to inspire people to come back into the Democratic Party because we got to get things done.
Yeah.
Get things done for the
Yeah.
people, and then we're going to
So
be
here's
able
how
to
you're gonna win.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to me. I have my finger on the pulse. I'm not a lofty, separated kind of guy. I deal with everyday people. These are my people right here, right? So
My people.
here's what I hear. My theme would be, or one of your themes ought to be, is our money, spend it on us. We spend it on everybody else. We spend it on wars. We're spending it in Ukraine. But when it comes to American citizens who need relief, just grin and bear it. Do the best you can. Self-responsibility. But yet, people can spend $200-some million and ride a horse and do ads. So I call it.
By the way, I don't suggest you and I ride a
No,
horse.
I'm not
and do
right.
an ad.
I don't need to ride a horse. I am a horse. And here's the linchpin of that, because everybody is fond of FDR, right? So I call it federal domestic relief, FDR. It's our money, spend it on us. Have you looked at the foreign budget? I mean, we give money. They talk about Cuba. We give Cuba money because of our base over there. I mean, almost every nation in the world, friendly, unfriendly, we have regular money that we give them. But when it comes to American citizens, you've got to fend for yourself, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't look for Uncle Sam to act like you and his family.
Well, and keep footing the bill.
And
we
foot
foot the
the
bill.
Well, talk about the bill. This war, unauthorized, no clear goal, no clear plan. And by the way, we're spending enough money that we probably could have afforded to fully fund the ACA, Medicaid, Medicare.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's
crazy.
our money.
It's our
spend it on us. We have no problem. These wealthy people have no problems assisting billionaires and trillionaires. But when it comes to everyday working class people, you're supposed to go it on your own. Don't look to the government. I think that's fundamentally wrong. And I don't think that people, Republican or Democrat, has a problem with a government that says, I'm going to be here for you.
That's right. And, when I was growing up, I needed that help. I needed that help.
We
Mom
all
and Dad,
do.
we needed that help.
We all do.
And by golly, and my neighbors helped out, I'm going to say, so that was important to me as I'm growing up. And, we're doing things, we're working with our hands, grew up, had a garden and stuff like that. So we're working hard, but I still needed help.
But there's something fundamentally wrong. Okay. I don't want to give you all my business, but 2024, I paid $20,000 in federal taxes. Okay. Based on my income that year. Okay. Donald Trump paid nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Something is wrong with that. I'm saying fundamentally, I don't think the Democrats are hard enough, precise enough, surgical enough to really tackle what we're going through. Stop telling me you're doing stuff for me and you're the only one that benefits. We got to take the lipstick and makeup off the pig. Go ahead.
Yes,
Oh, absolutely. I actually have a prime example of us not having the money spent on us. How is it the government, this particular war, you have to get yourself home from Dubai. You got to go, but you got to pay for it. That has never, ever, ever, ever happened in the history of the U.S. government, to where they told people, U.S. citizens abroad, that there is no other way for you to get home if you can't figure it out.
But one caveat to that is that the planning was poor.
Yep.
Because they should have known that anyone in that entire region, I mean, all air traffic in that entire area of the world ceased.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it comes back, the fundamental answer is who do you work for? Do you work for the people? Or, if you're a career politician, you know how this works when you can get those corporate PAC checks coming in.
And
you
that-
can do
and that's
that
where I'm
stock
going.
trading. Yeah, you can do that stuff. The system, it feels like it's rigged. If you're not an insider,
Well, and you just used two different terms that I wanted to ask you about. Now, do you consider yourself to be a political outsider? And for those like myself who did not understand what a PAC was until about, I don't know, a year or so ago.
You thought it was the Pac-Man, huh?
I didn't know what PAC it was. It could have been all kind of different PACs.
Waka.
And so, could you please break down what a PAC is and
Political
what a corporate,
Action Committee. Go ahead.
and what corporate PACs, like, are they good? They bad? What's
Yeah.
up?
And there's
Yeah.
so many. There's so many things. There's C4s, by the way, which means corporations or people could give unlimited amount of money, and you never even know where it comes from.
Yeah, to answer
Dark
the first part
money.
of your question, yeah, as an outsider, I didn't grow up in politics. I didn't grow up saying this is exactly what I'm going to do. I just grew up as an ordinary person trying to, with mom and dad and struggle through things. I still go back to help my brother. We grew up on a farm. He needs help. So I go back and give him a hand. I love doing that. And it gives me the chance to really interact and see things. Well, you know what? As someone who's not a career politician, you don't have and you don't know about some of these things like these political action committees, because you're exactly right. You can not only get money from a corporate PAC, but then there's also these inside PACs where politicians could give money to each other. And it's like, wow, okay. But as an outsider, I don't get that. No politician is going to be giving me that kind of money. And I've said no to the corporate PACs. And these corporate PACs, what it is it's a way that you can put money into the system, and then you can hand it out to the candidates that you want to hand it out to. And there's probably going to be some legislation going on at some point that they're interested in. And by the way, there's another type that's out there, these super PACs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I've heard about them, and they get hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
And-
but super PACs are still regulated. You still have the divulge donors. There's a limit, but the C4 is unlimited, and there is no disclosure whatsoever.
Right. And those folks, they're out there. I tell you, you don't know
And
what they're spending.
and for example, they'll say, "Would you like a man with half a head of hair to be in Congress?" Don Olford needs a toupee.
Well, and we saw
and you don't even know
Elon-
who's saying it, right?
we saw Elon Musk and company do that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Elon
He
Musk
did
is
all
out
over the
there.
world, not just here.
Yeah.
So
it's
why is it
unbelievable.
important though for candidates to reject corporate money? I mean, would you reject corporate money?
Yeah, I don't think we ought to be. I've signed on with In Citizens United because I've said I need to reject that corporate PAC money. Number two, I'm going to fight to ban individual stock trading in Congress. I think that's something we can do immediately as long as we have the mettle, we have the guts to go and do that, because I don't think you ought to own individual stocks if you're a congressional candidate. And by the way, how long should you be in there? Should you be in there forever?
So you for
suggesting
term limit- limits?
I think we ought to have some term limits at the federal level.
Wow.
You don't need
Why not?
You don't need to be in there forever. Keep it
All right.
fresh,
Yeah,
baby.
You know what?
John Conyers was there 50 years and loved the ground he walked on, but he
I love
also, because of his recalcitrance to leave, left us without African American representation.
Yeah, but I thought about the term limits, and that's what I want to go to. But I also suggest that we make it a law that you can't go work for none of your corporate sponsors
Yeah.
when
So
you
let's
leave.
do
I love you.
But-
You're getting
But
right
let's
there.
do this, Don.
That's-
We got 1 minute. Give your best pitch, how people can reach you and why they ought to vote for you.
Yeah, I'm an engineer. I'm a builder. I'm a husband. I'm a dad, and I'm the only candidate in this race that has the experience of working for the federal government, raising a family here, and working in the community, and working in industry on really complex problems where I had to bring people together all around the world and all throughout the United States that didn't always agree with me, but I had to find a solution and go forward to get things done. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and get things done. My name's Don Ufford. You can look me up, Ufford 4, the number 4, Michigan.com. Follow me on Facebook and Blue
And most
Sky,
important, I got to help all
Instagram.
politicians do this. And vote for me on, what's the date?
Whew, vote for me in August, baby.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told.
All right, we're back in live and living color. Bring it down, please. There you go. It's still playing. There you go. I got to take him and get him a third-class FCC license, you know. I used to have one. Remember you had to have one, Gerald? To be on the air, you had to have a FCC license. I had a third-class license because back in the day, you operated the board and you talked. So you had to know what to do and all that. So we're waiting on the Honorable Chief Judge of the 36th District Court, Judge William, I call him Bill McConaughey. He'll be in the moment. I want to remind you, we've got some tickets we're giving away today for Karen White and Stokely and somebody else in that show. Who else is in that show? The mics are not on, man. The mics are not on. His mic is not on.
Come and talk to me.
Now it is, right. I'm gonna do a, you know how you go to YouTube and you have a YouTube video? I'm gonna
Is
do
that
a
Randy
YouTube
Scott?
video. Yeah, Randy Scott.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know who Randy Scott is. But we also have wake-up call mugs. We also still have some wake-up call hoodies. I need Jennifer to unearth those so we can bring them next week because they're going to be too warm soon for a hoodie. In any rate, so Want to remind you to support our concert. Really want you to come out next Wednesday to see Bruiser Wolf. He's an older rapper with a different kind of style.
How much does it cost to get into that?
Free. Everything. All of our concert series are absolutely free.
Yes, sir.
And we've got some great shows coming up. I'm in negotiation with Earthquake right now, who's agreed to come. She's got to find a good date.
These are
one of the
jokes.
concerts that I want to bring back is in Zima.
Yes.
And Florella Strings. I just love that violin. Did you come to that, Ed?
No, but I'm surprised you don't know Randy Scott. He's a teacher in Southfield at Bernie Elementary Middle School.
Is that who's on the show?
Yeah, Randy Scott. He's an accomplished musician, and his jazz band at the school has won competitions nationally for years.
Well, I'm surprised you know him because normally
I know him personally.
Normally you limit it to women. You know, I mean, every
I like
every
music.
woman there is.
I like music because music moves to women.
All right. Well, we just come on, Judge, have a seat. This is what happens when you go to court anyway. The judges are always late getting on the bench. Come on, man.
Hey, Bill, tell him. When I referee games, they said you late. He said, no, I ain't
Scoot,
never late.
Scoot up a little close, all the way to the microphone. Hello,
Always
Chief
on
Judge.
time.
Hello, Reverend. How are you, sir?
Good. And what fraternity are you in?
I'm in Kappa Alpha Psi.
That's what I thought. Yeah, my dad crossed in 1931, Alpha Beta.
Yes, indeed. Pi
And
chapter, Morehouse College, Spring 95.
there you go. There you go.
And
What's
Sheffield backslid. And became
I haven't
Sigma.
backslid. No, I ain't backslid. So I pledged 21 weeks, and you had to bring a nickel of weed and a bottle of wine, and what?
That's all.
The straw that broke the camel's back. We'd come to the Kappa house on one of the nights, and they turn off the light and they start beating you. And so I got to the point where I was fixated on certain folks. And when the lights went out, I went and started slapping the piss out of them.
Now, don't you all believe them
But
fairy
no,
tales?
It's true. But let me
Because
tell
if you online, that ain't gonna happen.
Listen. What finally made it happen for me, quitting, was Wesley Smith, who's dead, putting cigarettes out in people's hands. Then he came to me. He liked my girlfriend and slapped me. I'm about to slap this, and I hit him, knocked him down, and walked on out. That was in
To all
but
that
it's
are
a great.
Incorporated is a non-hazing
And my dad-
fraternity,
all the
and,
tea.
none of these stories that Reverend Sheffield
Back
was
then,
I told you it's a fantasy.
Back then, it was true.
That tea is hot, honey.
So look. Let's get.
Speaking of amnesty,
excuse me. Let's cut
speaking
to
of
the chase.
amnesty.
We're here because you have a great program. I've been seeing the commercials where there's a period of time now where people can get amnesty. First of all, explain what amnesty is.
Yes. So right now we have thousands of individuals who are driving with their license suspended right now because they have come to court. They did the right thing. They went to court. There was an adjudication. They were found responsible or guilty, and they did not pay their fines and costs. After that, late fees are attached, warrant fees are attached, court costs are attached. The Secretary of State puts a reinstatement fee on it, and people are driving without their license.
By the way, the state reinstatement fee has come down from what it used to be.
Absolutely,
right?
and there's no longer a driver's responsibility fee.
That's what I'm referring to.
That
yeah.
has been repealed.
Okay.
But there's a fee. There's a small fee that you have to pay the Secretary of State to get your license reinstated. Right now, between March 9th and April 2nd, if either you come down to the court, you go to a DivDad kiosk, or if you go to the website, your original fine and cost, this could have been what you were fined 10 years ago. That's all you have to pay. All of those fees and costs and late fines, warrant fees, those are being waived.
Wow.
The $45 you have to pay the Secretary of State, you still have to pay that. But all of the fines and fees that we put on at 36, those are being waived. And we want people to start the spring out the right way. Don't drive dirty. Don't have fear when the police are behind you because you have some outstanding stuff at the court. Come on down. Or if you don't want to come down, just go online. Go to 36th District Court and you go to the website. You can look up the case and pay right there. If you
So this is amnesty for traffic tickets.
Yeah, these are all. And
I
these
just
are
want to
tickets.
say that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you come
No,
down to
no,
36th
no,
District
no,
Court
no,
and
yeah.
you think you got amnesty for everything.
No.
They take you across the street.
Yeah, no, there's some felonious conduct that's outstanding. That's not
Yeah,
what
that's
we're
not-
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Traffic
adjudicated
tickets.
traffic matters.
Yeah, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
All right. So
And-
bring
and-
okay.
And Rev, I want to address one thing. There's been some social media traffic saying that don't go down to the court. They're going to arrest you if you go down. That is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
You're not going before a judge. You're going to a window. and you're paying
Make
your
it a
costs.
payment,
You're
right.
or you don't even have to go into the
Yeah.
court. There's a kiosk
Yeah.
outside. Go to the kiosk.
This is not the
put your
Super
name
Bowl
in.
party
Yeah,
where you're getting the
yeah,
free TV.
Yeah, this ain't the 80s in DC where they were setting you
Yeah,
up. No, just or just go online and pay. But make sure you get your driver's privileges.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Right. And drive. You're not completely clean because a significant number of folks are driving without insurance.
Yes.
Sabrina Athena.
True that. And trust and believe. This is incredible information. There's a lot of trauma triggers for people even having to think about going near a court window or whatever. So it's rough. So
They get nervous going to the music hall.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. So what exactly is the goal of the program and how successful has it been in the past? How long has this program been going on?
Since I've been chief, this is the time we've done the amnesty program. We did it in 2020. We did it in 2024. We've had close to 5,000 people came down in 2024. We've raised money for the court, obviously, and for the city of Detroit. But most importantly, people have their driver's license. I've had people I've had emails where they're saying, I couldn't get through a background check because I had these warrants out there.
Sure.
Now this is the job I have.
Sure.
You've had people pulled over while taking their kids to school because they have these outstanding warrants. And that is the goal. The goal is we want people, and we know the insurance is up. We know affordability costs, everything is up. Gas is up. So we're saving you some money.
Yeah.
An average ticket, a person is going to save $100 on.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, normally people have more than one ticket. And so you've had people that they've saved $500. They've saved $400. And that's a big savings. And they got
So
no
let me
license
ask a quick question before Ed and Dave. Was this within your jurisdiction? I mean, did this have to be approved by the state, or I'm just curious how that works.
I send a request up to the state, the court administrator's office,
Right.
to do this, and it's up to my purview under the chief judge's rule.
Right.
The only thing I cannot do is waive the Secretary of State's money because
Right.
that $45 is there.
Well, we'll just
It's,
call Jocelyn.
yeah,
That's
you know,
all.
and that's the
She's running for governor. She ought to announce that right now. I'm waiving all the Secretary of State fees.
Yeah, but so it is a thing that people look forward to.
Yeah.
And we definitely.
When
wanna
is
make
it
sure-
again?
It starts on Monday.
And for how long does it run?
From March 9th to April 2nd.
March 9th to April 2nd.
Website, DivDad kiosk, or come down to the court.
Okay.
3 ways of paying.
Yep, Ed?
Okay, well, I wanted to dispel a myth that a lot of people have been hearing. No, you can't use your EBT card or us old heads, food stamps. But what are the accepted ways to pay for your fines?
We accept cash, check, and credit card. So, no Cash App, none of that stuff, but you can definitely pay via credit card, a check,
Debit
or
card.
cash.
Well, that's what I was gonna
Yes,
ask, debit
absolutely.
card.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ed, needs to know that because he was sending his OG down there with his food stamp. Baby,
Well,
I'll take care of it for you.
No, all kidding aside, I used to work in the bank.
No. I know
And
what's going in. You got that old greaser. You told her you take care of her
No.
tickets, so you gonna give us some
No,
EBT
I had to count food stamps like money.
I hear you, man. All right, David.
Okay?
So again, just tell the people how they can come down. You said they don't necessarily have to come down. They can go to the website. What's the website?
The website is just type in 36 District Court. And that don't
Yeah.
try to, this is a long website. Just put in 36 District Court to any search engine. It'll bring you right up to the court.
Yeah.
It's right at the top. You click on it and then you put your information in and it'll let you know what you owe.
So let me just quick thing on the website, David. So a lot of times when you have tickets, you can go in and put the ticket number. Do you just put your license number and it pulls up everything, or
everything that you have, even stuff everything will be pulled up, and we have
based on what information? Your driver's license number?
We have a special drop down.
Okay.
So it is easier than a normal system.
Okay. Okay.
And it's right up front because
Right.
we want you. IT has put a lot of work into this.
And does it get everything? Everything that is
Gets it all.
associated
It
with you
gets-
is there.
Everything is right there.
Okay.
And again, and if
So
you go, and if
so
you- and if
so I'm
you
just
go-
going to cut you
okay,
off.
yes,
So
sir.
so if you're worried about a criminal warrant, it'll show you that. Just check the ones, all of them, but that
It'll let you know this is out there also, but this is not covered with the amnesty.
is not the thing.
And,
Yeah.
and again, if you don't want to even get in line, there is a kiosk right outside.
Yeah.
You go right
You got
there,
it.
press 30.
Yeah, we used to have one in here. They've taken a lot of the kiosks out because they were breaking in. So David's next, but I have a quick question. what would be the estimated cost or revenue generated if people had to pay all those tickets and their fees, and how much have you saved them?
Well, like I said, the average ticket is $100. And so we know that there are millions of dollars that are out there that are owed to the court right now. And the thing is this, we're not a collections agency. We're not trying to raise money off late fines and fees. We want people to handle their business and be productive members of society and be able to work and be able to support their kids. And so, yeah, we're going to lose money in one sense without collecting.
I got that, but what I'm saying, like, say for example, if you collected everything that was owed, it was $8 million.
Yeah.
But through the amnesty program, you're going to only generate $2 million.
Right. Yeah. So
because I want people to get a sense of how. Let me listen, Judge.
I got you.
Of how much of a savings this is to the public.
It's about $5 to $6 million in savings.
Wow.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
It is a tremendous amount, and it's worth it. And
Right.
It's so worth it on the court side, and it's so worth it on the human cost
Yeah,
side.
that's wonderful.
Yes, indeed.
We commend you for that, Brother Kappa.
I appreciate it. Reverend Sheffield, can I say something off topic real quick?
Yo, sure you can. You the judge. I'm in your courtroom.
The last time I saw Reverend Sheffield, he had a personal conversation with me, and we had a conversation about health and health of Black men. And it was a very nice way for him to tell me I needed to lose some weight. And so I want to let you know, Rev, since
How much
I saw
have you lost?
35 pounds.
Well,
35 pounds. So I've been waiting to see you to let you know.
And I was at my primary care physician yesterday, and I had him look up where I was and where I am. You know how much I've lost altogether?
What's that?
126 pounds.
All right now.
126 pounds. And I'll tell you what the Black man's weight loss goal is, but I won't tell you on the air. David?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. You kind of already addressed the issue about the cost overall, but then individually, I just say personally, I drove dirty for like 6 years, and it was to your point. The story was
a sheriff,
right? He's the popo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was before I became law enforcement. When I was younger. Wow. It's all under the blood.
Yes.
But the point I'm trying to make is it was very traumatic because I had got comfortable doing it, Your Honor. And it wasn't until I got pulled over with my wife and my son in the car, and they took me to Van Buren Township. Oh, no. And then I had to pay I think it was like $5,000 because I went so long. But I'm saying it can cost you more than that. And then now every year when we have to fill out our paperwork as law enforcement officer, you have to put on there, have you ever been arrested or detained or whatever? You have to say yes. And I got to put DWLS, and it was driving with a suspended license. So again, driving with license suspended. So again, it's essential, ladies and gentlemen, that we tell our young people, tell everybody, get your L's together, because they will take you to jail.
Yeah.
They take you to jail and they'll leave you in jail. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, I done been in Washtenaw County.
So things have changed a lot, and I think we want to get you to really speak on this because I think, and I don't know to what degree you've been involved with this, but things have changed a lot. You know, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, you know, you got stopped. You didn't have a good driver's license. I mean, they arrested you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole process, I'm getting the ring, man. The whole process was it more criminalized, or it's been changed? Now this is all civil, right?
Well, so what we've done is we have the most aggressive and most progressive bail reform.
Hold on, that's her warrant being issued. Go ahead.
We have the most aggressive and progressive bail reform system in the state of Michigan. And so we're no longer incarcerating people for traffic offenses.
Okay. But there was a time that happened.
There was a time,
Okay.
and that's why the ACLU sued the 36th District Court. And because, you know, what you don't want to do is you want to incarcerate those who need to be incarcerated, those who are a danger to the community or flight risk. You don't want people losing their housing,
jobs,
losing their jobs for traffic offenses. And so we have a holistic way of helping people. One, cashless bail system, and also having these amnesty programs to get people to get their license straight. And that's how we're doing it.
Sabrina?
It's interesting. Ed said that you can't use your food stamps. Now, I have a real question. If I were someone who needed to pay these fines, I am not.
Okay.
And I did have
asking for a friend,
right? For whoever, you know what I'm saying. And if you do have the bridge card with cash on it,
we don't take anything.
Nothing like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Let me tell you something. With my bridge card, I paid like tires.
Look here.
That I need. Hold on, I wasn't talking to Ed yet. I had to pay for new tires with my bridge card one time. So it's like I would be creative enough to ask that question. But anywho, since our friends aren't here to ask themselves, how can other than the website, do you said people can contact the 36th District Court through
the website?
Just the website.
The kiosk. We have a kiosk outside. There are various kiosks throughout the city. The DivDat kiosk, you can go and you can pay right there. You don't have to, when you grocery shop.
And what a shame that those DivDats had to be moved. We had one here.
Yeah.
They literally tore my door down trying to get that thing out of here.
It has, and where that was so beneficial to us.
It was.
during
I mean,
COVID,
people could
especially.
come here. People were paying tickets in here. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people, you can pay your property taxes.
Right.
You see in Detroit. You
Yeah.
pay,
Your
and
utility bills, everything.
It's very convenient.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to stand in the line. You don't
Yeah.
have to go to a cashier.
Yeah.
I know some older people that like to go to the window because they want that paperwork in their hand. They want to walk away, put it in their pocket, and you're going to get an email or a receipt from the kiosk, but they like knowing, having the face to face. So that's why we have it on all three levels. You can come in, go to a kiosk, or just go to the website in the comforts of your home, your car, wherever you are.
So is this going to be something that's annual from now on, do you think?
Well, we make an assessment of when. So like I said, we've done 3 in the last 6 years. And so we don't do it every year.
So basically biannually, you wait to see what kind of accumulation the fines are out there.
And we want to make it, and you also don't want to have a perverse incentive where people say, well,
I'm just gonna hold this hamster coming up.
I'm gonna hold on. The mechanical normally does this right around tax season.
Come on, Chief, what's up, dog? Program.
Don't take it for granted
now.
now.
You don't want to do that, but you want to see. And so I check to see how our warrants are, how our collections are going. And if I see that there is a need, that people, and you can always tell when the economy starts to tank a little bit, people don't pay. And I don't believe that's
appropriate
because,
word, tank.
Yeah, and I don't believe because their citizens are being criminal. I don't think they have the money.
Yeah.
And so they're making a cost benefit analysis. So we're helping you at that
So
point. By
I want to get into what I tell people all the time, and tell me if I'm wrong. But people get tickets. They got a speeding ticket. They're facing points. I always tell people, get a court date, go down, because you'll fare better. Maybe, you just have to pay the fine and not the points. You can't do that if you don't respond to the ticket, right?
Yes, sir. The only bad outcome in any kind of a court case, whether it's a landlord-tenant case, whether it's a civil case, small claim traffic, the only bad result is not showing up.
That's right.
Because you're automatically going to get a default, no matter what kind of case. The majority of traffic tickets that are like speeding tickets, running a red light, those tickets, if you show up, will be reduced to impeding or blockading traffic, which is a no point offense, as a fine, and it's not even on your driving record. It's called being non-abstractable. So you're just paying court costs. But if you don't go, then you've taken a simple matter. You've received points. Your license is going to get suspended.
Insurance going to
Your
go up.
insurance is going to go up, all because you didn't come to court. And most of these things are on Zoom.
So
you don't even have
to come down. You get a
You got to get dressed though.
Zoom court is wild.
Let's be very clear on that. You do have to get dressed. No robes.
Right.
No open.
What do about that? Like,
okay, hold on a second. So I just want to make this point. I don't want it to go on deaf ears. And I still get the ring. I don't know what it is. You're far better getting a court date.
Yes.
And going down.
When you get that ticket, it has the phone number on it. You need to call within 14 days.
Yes.
Get your ticket. Get your court date. The court date will be on Zoom. You're not going to come down for a traffic ticket. You do that, we have our DPD officers are doing a lot better. They are showing up now, and I tell the chief all the time, that's a good thing. But they're not being punitive. A lot of times there's a deal cut before you even get to the judge. You're talking with the officer. They're reducing it to no point offenses, and you're done.
So I want to get to what happens if in fact I don't show up and I don't do anything, now I got points and everything else. I mean, I just want people to understand the difference between going down, setting a date, having it reduced, not having not having points and not being on your record versus you just
You've gone from paying $175 and it not being on your driving record at all to paying up to probably $350.
wow.
A $45 reinstatement fee to the Secretary of State, Progressive or State Farm or whoever, Cure or whoever.
Well, don't mention Cure because Cure ain't paying nobody's
yeah,
stuff right now. Go ahead.
That's a whole different
Yeah,
story.
I mean, I talked to the
them.
governor about it because I got people in my church who have not got paid for accidents from last year.
I've had some. I don't want to go into. I've had some students. I'll just say that they seized their vehicle, sold their vehicle, and they got nothing.
Right.
You got nothing. But what you're going to do is you're going to see an increase by your insurance also, all because you didn't zoom in.
Yeah.
Because you didn't zoom in.
Yeah.
That's
So what we've done here, we're in construction now, but we have a computer lab in the back, whatever they call it, something zone, the Comcast and other folks. So we actually assist people going online. You know, if you don't have the technology, you don't know how to do it, we'll pull it up for you. We got cameras, you sit there and you take care of it. But whatever you do, respond to the citation, get a court date, and don't make it worse.
And the last thing to that point, Rev.
And we got 1 minute, so tell us everything you want us to know.
If you do not have the technology, if you don't have access to internet, just come on down.
Okay.
We'll put you in a room and do it in person.
Okay.
But this is for the convenience of the citizen to do it.
You have to park because the parking fees across the street.
Yes. But Rev, first of all, on behalf of the 36th District Court, I want to thank you and everyone here for allowing us to get this word out.
Yeah.
Because this is very important.
Absolutely.
This is for the benefit of our citizens. Don't drive for 6 years with your license suspended.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't have that fear of being pulled over with your kids in the car. Just pay this off, save some money, and again, start the spring out the right way.
Yeah.
And if you're a black man listening, take the advice that Reverend Sheffield gave me. Make some life changes. Go to the doctor, check on yourself, and you'll be better for your family and your friends also.
Yeah, and the other thing is, which we talked about very briefly, is saving some money up front can cost you a lot more money in the end.
Oh yeah.
And I deal with people who have bought new cars, bought cheap insurance to get it off the lot, and then don't have insurance 7 days later. That 7-day insurance certificate, somebody need to do something about
Scam.
that.
True that.
All right, we're talking to Chief Judge Bill or William McConaughey. We know him as Bill. He is the heart of Highland Park and all that good stuff. Cap Alpha Psi. We go on and on and on. So glad to have you. Anytime you want anybody.
The house.
Anytime you want anything known, here come.
I appreciate you. March 9th through April 2nd, get your driving privileges restored and drive the right way.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Horace Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5
Yo, what's up, guys?
FM.
It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call.
I'm just gonna get my frustration out. Are we on the air?
We
All
are
right.
on.
I want to hear it in here if I can. Right. All right. Is that Erica Sweely? Can you hear us? We can't hear her.
Me?
Now we can hear you. Right. You know, we have to remind people on sound that we need to hear sound. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Huh?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We can't hear in here though, young man. In our no. Good. You're formerly with the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
There you go. And tell us about that. Now you started on the bottom. Now you're on the top. We'll get to that in a moment.
Thank you. No, I actually, I'm born and raised in Chicago, but I definitely think of Detroit as a second home. I hope Detroiters would consider me honorary. I was able to work for the Detroit Pistons twice in my career. So I was with them back in the days when they were in Auburn Hills. And then I was able to circle back and work with them again in my career when they made the move down to Detroit.
Yes, so you're now with the National Basketball Players Association Foundation. I will, for purpose of disclosure, indicate that you've always been a blessing to me and to Dabo. And tell us what it's like there at the foundation. I understand you've really increased the revenue and its impact.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It was definitely a hard decision to leave the Pistons. I oversaw community when I was there and just love Detroit's community and how they come together and work together. So it was not an easy decision to leave. But in my new role as the executive director of the Foundation for the Players Association, I'm able to do that community work on a global level. So I am working with players from all different teams on their community initiatives globally. So it's been a true blessing to be able to do that and expand the work that I originally just was doing in Detroit.
So let's unpack that a little bit. So not only are you doing the work of the Players Association Foundation, but you're saying you're working with individual players who have their foundations and things that they're doing?
Yes. So at the Players Association, we are the union that represents all 350 plus or 450 plus players. And so as part of my role, it's to help players strategize around their community initiatives. And I also have grant money that I'm able to give them towards their community initiatives. So, you know, I try to get them to not start foundations just because there's, I think, ways to achieve their goals without necessarily doing that. some of them have foundations, which is great. We will work with them and show them how to make sure that they're properly setting it up and they're running it and the structure is right for them. Otherwise, we help, connect them to nonprofits, think through what their strategy is going to be. I always say these players are so young, so they don't know what they don't know. They do know that they want to give back, and we're just making sure that they do so in a responsible way.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. We're going to open up to the rest of my team. Why would you encourage them not to have a foundation? What is the downside of that?
Yeah, so I don't think a lot of people really understand how much goes into starting and running a foundation. There's a lot of, financial and legality that is involved. And so they're still able to work with established nonprofits and organizations that can help them achieve their goals. They can help them get their, the branding and the tax write-offs and some of those things that they're looking to achieve without having to necessarily start a foundation.
Yeah, I understand. I understand it full well because I've done like 5,000 501c3s. People come, they want to do a foundation. The restrictions on how the money is spent. I mean, it's much different. And a lot of that money you give away, but it's just different. I just want to make sure that my audience heard why it was, because I didn't want them to think you were discouraging it because you guys had a foundation. You discourage it because you don't think it's really the best vehicle for them.
Correct. It is at their time, maybe when their career is, tapering off, but unless they are actually going to invest the money to hire somebody that knows how to properly run a foundation, it doesn't make the most sense.
All right, Ed?
Yes, I'm kind of curious about players that want to do community service events or projects. Is that something they need to clear through you, or is that something that you can assist them in doing?
Yeah, they don't need to clear it through us. We just will assist them. Oftentimes, I work with them to make sure that the projects they are aligning themselves with are authentic and genuine to them. I don't want them to just pick something that sounds good. I want them to find ways and find organizations that align with their values and their mission and their goals, and think through how to strategically work with them. So they don't have to clear it with us, but we are trying to help them think differently around philanthropy. They have really, really unique platforms to do good in a big way and showing them how that is. So my example always is, I don't want them to just give away a backpack during back to school. I want them to see how they can use that money to really impact a student or a school for the whole school year. And what does that look like? How can they use that money that they would use to hand out, 500 backpacks to give to an organization and go a little bit deeper with some of the work they're trying to do.
So to follow up on that before we get to Athena, so does the Players Association vet charities and maybe have an approved list or saying these are some of the folks we're working with?
Yes, we do have a nice list of charities that we have vetted. If a player comes to us with a charity that it's not on our list, then we will do the vetting for them if they want us to.
And how do you get on that list? I'm interested. We'll talk about that later. And I will say that Erica is the person who assisted us in being able to be funded by the Detroit Pistons, which to her credit, even in your departure and absence, they still do. So we appreciate you.
I'm glad to hear that.
and I'm a big fan of Erica's. I know
you.
she was a fan of my daughters too. I want to get that in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, it was a hard decision to leave Detroit. And so I was upset that I could not vote for her in the election, but was happy that, I was able to work closely with her in my previous role when she obviously served on.
I have another question because I was at Susan Taylor's 80th birthday Monday night in New York. When I got on the plane Tuesday morning, I saw my daughter and her husband, Rakia is his sister, plays for WNBA.
Yes.
Is there any connection between, you're solely the NBA Players Association, or do you interact with the WNBA Players Association as well?
So my role is solely NBA Players
Okay.
Association, but W Players Association, they share our office with us, and we do interact with them. And we obviously, if a W player has a question, we're happy to answer it. Or
So
help them help.
let me do one last thing, because this month is what? Women's Month, right?
Yep.
Is this Women's Month?
It sure is.
Is this women? Where my women at? We want to honor y'all. Stand up and give Erica a big hand, because she's a big fish in a large pond. There he is. Okay.
Oh, thank
Athena.
you.
Absolutely. I'm picking up everything you guys are putting down. And Erica, it's so nice to speak with you.
You as well.
I literally just recently realized the stigma that goes along with a lot of players that have associations or nonprofits. And so to know that your entire aspect exists to support them in allocating their funds appropriately is so refreshing to know. And even
Thank you.
encouraging for like what Rev was alluding to, like, wow, that's a great place to have my information just in case they like what I do, you know? So also I want to know more
But
about
one thing before you go, one thing that I really think is important is because some of these athletes may not know who they're associating with.
Yep.
That they do
Yes.
the vetting to let them know that this is safe, it's unsafe, what the
Yep.
repercussions could be, because, I mean, I never will forget my daughter took a picture with somebody who was an inmate in the jail that she oversaw the release for, and the media put it up
Right.
like, she was socializing with a criminal. But, you got your image is everything. But go ahead.
Absolutely. I'm gonna backtrack on that. So, so you guys not only, and let's just say you might not have the vetting material at this point to work directly with you. It looks like you guys still offer grants for a variety of community projects. So, what's some of the eligibility criteria around that?
So we actually only provide grants through our players. So we have what's called a matching grant program. So our players will come to us and say that they are supporting, let's say, the Boys and Girls Club, and they want to use their match in that way. So then we will work with the Boys and Girls Club to help them match the money that they've already given. Though, if they come to us and say, hey, we're looking to do a community initiative, this is kind of what I'm interested in, then we can say, hey, here's an organization in your market. And what we do know is most players give where they either are from or where they play, so that there's that connection there. Then we can say, okay, you're interested in food insecurity, or, let's unpack that. And, we'll ask them why that's their interest, and what's the connection there. And then we'll say, oh, have you worked with a Forgotten Harvest in your market? If not, we can help you make that connection. I will also get on phone calls with them and a nonprofit to help ask questions that they might not be thinking about, and just think about how they can not just write a check, but how they can have a mutually beneficial, and mutual is the key word, relationship with these organizations.
Most of them really want to be impactful, and knowing
Yes.
that this is not the only generation. Well, this is a new generation of basketball players that get younger and younger, and now we have
Yep.
NIL money that's included in a lot of these baskets. No pun intended. Do you guys intend on also helping out in those kind of ranks, or any thought to that?
So we do elite youth department, that we are starting to look at these players younger and younger, and helping to educate them and their parents and their circle of influence is what we like to call them, so that they have this information prior to them actually making it to the NBA. So yes, our goal is to get this information into hands of high school and college athletes.
Trash right now. And
Now you always talk trash.
Well, since you guys help with grants and whatnot, could you grant me some playoff tickets?
Yeah, right.
So tickets is what we don't do.
No.
Grant
We just
denied.
yeah. we don't do tickets because, like I said, we represent the players. So the tickets.
Well,
come
I
from
want
the
to
team.
see the players.
Well, okay. We'll get them some tickets. What I want to get into is, it's across the board with professional athletes who make a lot of money and wound up being broke, right? I always give Isaiah Thomas as an example. You may not know this, but Isaiah deferred most of his income. He got $1 million bonus and deferred most of his income while he played, which as he draws down, he only pays taxes on that. I mean, there's some things you can do. I got into a discussion with someone the other day going to tell me Allen Iverson is broke. Allen Iverson is not broke. Michael Cafferty, who is my personal attorney, manages his trust. He comes to town twice a year, and he gets a substantial amount of money. He has a ton of money. So what do you do to help these players understand the long-term implications of how they hold on to this wealth?
Yeah, and that's what we try to say. Like, another reason why they shouldn't start a foundation right away. We want them to build generational wealth and make sure that they're setting themselves up. And then here's how you can responsibly give back to your community. Because if you can't take care of yourself, then your community work only is going to be for as long as you play or for that you have this money. So how do we set you up for generational wealth? And we have a whole finance department and a basketball operations department where we are looking at how to give them the information and knowledge that they need. One thing that we have started to do is financial audits for the players. And then we're working on setting up, our CFO is working on setting up a criteria on which we can vet out financial advisors. So right now, the union, we are the ones that certify all agents. And so having a system where we can certify financial advisors as well for players.
Yeah, because it's so important. It's so important. One of the follow-up is you're part of the actual Players Association, right? The foundation is a subsidiary or derived from that. Is that correct?
Yes. So I am my own entity, but yes.
But you all work together.
We all work together.
Yeah, I think some of us remember when there were strikes and all of that, and I can't think of the African American guy that was over that association for years who really built that into
Billy Hunter.
There you go. Yeah. So I think that people don't understand that these players are in a union.
Correct.
And that all of that is negotiated and everything else. So you got to follow up. Sabrina, I just want to put that out there because, they make a lot of money, but they also have to negotiate things, just like if you have a job at Ford, there's certain, rules in the workplace and I guess my question, do you help them understand how to be in good standing, right? Because some of these players do have issues from time to time, and they may not even know what's required of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We try. We always say, make sure that you are our first call for anything, and we will help point you in the right direction. But it's also important that we are not only making sure that they know about their resources that they have, but their circle of influence knows as well.
Sure.
So that can be someone on the team side. So, there's player development folks on the team side. There's the community folks on the team side. Then they have their agents, they have their parents, sometimes significant other. So making sure that all of those folks who they see and work with day in, day out have the same information that they have as well.
Yeah.
So if they don't remember, someone in their inner circle can say, hey, call the union.
All right, before we go on, just in case, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question, we do have a microphone. Come see Gerald Smith. And again, we're celebrating Erica. This is Women's History Month?
Yes, absolutely.
So she's made history. She's making history, and she'll continue to be history. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, I remember being in my 20s in the 2000s. And one of the things, it's interesting that you said that you sure their circle of influence has the same information as they have, and everybody has an understanding how things are supposed to work because that is protective. But the salaries are public information. I found this out back in the day. And my question really from that comes down to how long has the association been this active with the actual players? And because I know that over time there's been some stigmas about people being around or not being around. Like we don't want our friends and family to go broke, but we know now that there's somebody in place that actually helps. So how long has that been going on?
So, I mean, the union's been around for years. Since I want to say the 50s, in the 50s. Since I've been there it's going on 2 years now since I've been at the union. I came in under a different leadership regime. And so I think as the different leadership regimes change, they have different ways of thinking. I came under the executive director, Andre Iguodala, who is a former player himself and is not that far removed from the league. So he has been able to come in and, as a former player and say, these are things that I experienced as a player. This is what I've seen some of my teammates experience. And this is how I think we can approach this work maybe a little bit differently than they had in the past.
So I think, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, at the end of the day, as the union, our job is to protect the rights of.
So I got two quick questions. First of all, where are you from originally? Give us some more background on you. Where were you born?
I was born and raised down the street in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, Chi-Town.
Is Chi-Town. Though,
did you go to DeSable? Where'd you go to DeSable? Where'd you go?
I'm from the south side of Chicago. I grew up in two different areas of Chicago, one called Hyde Park.
I know that.
And then one called Beverly.
Okay.
And then my family moved back to Hyde Park. So a true South Sider, I would say. I went to Chicago public schools my entire life. And then I headed to Missouri for college, and I went to University.
Julian Jaguars. I know some of those.
I went to Morgan Park High School.
Okay.
My aunt, actually, my aunt Annie Swilley, she taught at Julian.
Okay.
So she was the vice principal there. So a lot of kids from Julian would say,
So I know a lot about Chicago. My mother was from Milwaukee. My dad was from Detroit. He was there organizing the union. Met her in 49. He went to the clinic that the UAW had set up, and the rest is history. So, great town. In fact, I'll be there in 2 weeks with Andre Hughes, who's the founder of Century. He came from the South Side. So where'd you go to college?
University of Missouri.
Mizzou. Yeah. So now here's my question. Here's the other question. The Pistons have really gotten back to where they've been in the past. How does that make you feel, having been around and seen some of the worst days? I mean, does it bring a certain amount of pride to you as well? Or? Yes,
absolutely. I love to see them in the position that they're in. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good team. I'll be there tonight for the game, going with DTE. Yes, you have a question, sir?
Yes, Brooklyn tonight.
Yeah. I lived in Brooklyn, by the way. But go ahead.
Brooklyn. Well, and that's where I live now, is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I lived on Franklin and Dean and Bedford and Pacific. I was in Bedford-Stuy, right off one block off of Atlantic Avenue. Yeah. Go ahead.
What I'd like to say is, I believe the union started in 1950. Oscar Robertson, which you
Oscar Robertson did help.
Started that. But I'd like to know, being a union member, RSDU, the food union, are some of the things that the players talk about in the unions, like what we like dental care, optical, being on time from work? I'm always on time, but things like this. Or because I know you hear about.
And do they have mediation? I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, mediation. Because with our union, we have mediation, but some stuff like dental, optical, being on time to work, conduct. Are those some of the things talked about in the union meeting?
Good question, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, great question. So absolutely, healthcare, health insurance is definitely something that is talked about. I would say being on time and conduct is more so ran team by team, just because the head coach, we will definitely emphasize that they should be on time and they should conduct themselves in a certain manner. But yeah, we want them to be well-rounded young men, and they have to understand that this is a job, and so that they need to conduct themselves that way. So we have union meetings, we have team meetings, and a lot of different topics are covered in those meetings. And we do have mediation. So we will, go with the player, to talk to the league on different initiatives as well.
So I'm going to ask a question each. Are there any teams in the NBA now that have African-American ownership?
That is a good question.
I know there's some people who own portions and all of that. I won't put you on the spot. It's just it's the optics to me, with so many. It's the sport. The majority of the players in that league are African American. So just seems to me that we ought not also play but get paid. Anyway, Athena.
Well, she just said the league is evolving. I love to
No,
hear
I know
that.
I know there are.
Yeah.
I know there are people who own portions of teams. There's
there
not
are-
a team.
yes.
Yeah, that's majority owned. There's no team that African American owns the majority of, but there are teams that African Americans have invested in, right?
Yeah, it used to be Michael Jordan.
With the Bobcats.
was the owner, correct? I know he sold majority of his stake in the team.
Yes.
So off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay, well that's a good thing to it doesn't change the outcome on the court, by the way.
No, but in the CBA, we are looking at, how are players able to invest into team ownership.
That's a great thing. They got enough money. They ought to invest in those teams. Sabrina, Athena.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, the last question.
You said you have a honorary Detroit. You like to be known as an honorary Detroiter. And listen, as a Detroiter, as a native, you are a Chicago cousin.
Yes.
Now,
thank you.
now, hear me out though. I feel like as we were just talking about, you have a home here with Rev. You have a lot of people that ride for you. I have a question, and this will determine if you are an honorary Detroiter amongst our studio audience. Okay, it's going to be up to them.
All right, come on. We don't have but 2 minutes.
All right. The question is, what do you order from Coney Island?
Oh, okay. So that is probably where you guys are going to kick me out. So I did not eat red meat or pork for a very, very long time.
That's good.
Okay.
So I didn't really go to Coney Island.
She got the home fries.
Yeah. Yes.
You might have got the grilled chicken.
Got
Peter.
the
That's
home
okay.
fries.
That's okay.
I think
We'll
that's
give you a
a-
pass.
I got a
Thank you.
question.
So hurry up, man, because we got to come.
Okay.
I'm gonna close out.
Have
with
you
it.
ever been to Lose?
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
you've been to
Okay,
Lose.
so you good now.
All right. So now,
Okay.
all
Thank you.
together, how many years were you with the Pistons? Combined tenures.
I was with them the first time 5 years. I was with them the second time 8 years.
Okay. And in those 13 years, and there was some time in between, can you name to me a couple of who you see as your favorite players?
It's like asking a mother to choose who their favorite child is.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't
worked
put you on the
with-
spot because it may come back to haunt you.
Right. I worked with some amazing players. I still
Yeah.
talk to
Well,
majority of the players.
were you around? Were you around when Joe Dumars was there?
I was there with Joe Dumars.
So I've been to Joe's home in Natchitoches. Knew his mother Twitty. I've known Joe for years. What a nice man. What a just respectful. Even to this day, he always says yes sir, no sir. I mean, just raised that way. Don't you agree with that?
Joe is the best. I worked with him at my
Yeah.
first time with the Pistons.
Yeah.
Then when I came over to the Players Association, he was at the NBA.
Yeah.
So I got to work with him again, and now he's the GM over at the Pelicans. So,
Yeah, he great guy. So we got so glad to have you. Just want you to know, an unofficial poll was just put in front of me, and they said that you just won the title of being the prettiest and the smartest guest I've ever had.
thank you. I appreciate
Isn't that right? All right, we'll be right back after this. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you
You've
for
been
having
listening
me.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake-up call. Ooh, ooh, with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake-up call.
Hey. All right, we're back alive in living color. We got to do a gradual go. You just got to turn it down. That's all. I was blessed as a young man to admire someone who was very close to my dad. He attended my mother's funeral, my grandfather's funeral. I was also in meetings that led to him ultimately becoming the mayor of the city of Detroit. In 1960, my father and Buddy Battles and Ted Morgan and Ann Jones and Liz Jackson were concerned about police brutality, in particular the Big Four. If you remember back in those days, they would whip you and send you home.
No doubt, no doubt.
And so they went down and met with Mayor Mary Annie and Van Antwerp, who was the chief of police, and came back to TULC because when they raised those issues, it is reported in my dad's archives that Mary Annie said that's what we do to niggas. And so when they went back to TULC, the people were all upset. We gonna do this. And I said, no, we gonna do something to them. And he came up with the slogan 5+1. We're gonna get a liberal mayor and 5 liberal council persons. Among the 5, of course, was what's his name? Bill Patrick, the first black council person, became president of AT&T when he left here. Mel Ravitz and others, and then Jerry Kavanaugh was the one who ran for mayor, and they beat the UAW. They beat Mariana. They beat everybody and shocked this whole region. And of course, his granddaughter, right?
Yep.
Mary Kavanaugh is here, and we want to applaud Jerry.
Thank you for having me.
And she's a state senator, and she's running. And by the way, aside from that, she's been a great help to us. We've forged a great relationship. And do you know much about that? You know, I mean, let me just go. You know, his office was in the Tobin building after he ran for governor and didn't win, and he was practicing law. I was working for Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, and I had the good pleasure of being able to go sit in his office. You know, he was just a warm, welcoming guy, you know, just down to earth. And we would sit there and he talked to me about my mother, talked to me about my dad. What kind of memories do you have of Jerry Kavanaugh?
I think that's a really great question because it even leads to what I'm doing here, even in the position of state senate or previously state representative. Is he actually passed when my dad was about 21. So it was previously before me and my family ever got to meet him, or me and my sisters.
Okay.
And so I only had family memories of him, and it was far and few in between because the life of public service, you don't really get to see your family or hang out as much as you'd like. And so I actually started. My dad was in the state legislature, and
your dad's name is
Phil Kavanaugh.
Phil Kavanaugh.
And he was a Wayne County commissioner, and I was actually between the ages of 5 and 10. And so I was out there door knocking with him and talking to residents, because that's how I actually got to know my grandfather, of him going into the community, him talking to people. And so the best stories that I hear from him are from the community.
So let me tell you, and we'll move on. And I think get Gerald, get the microphone, because you got something to add to this. I think the most important legacy of Jerome P. Kavanaugh, right?
Yep.
Jerome P. Kavanaugh was that he is the person that was determined to integrate this city and to create an atmosphere where everybody was treated the same. He appointed the first black deputy mayor, Walter Green. I go on and on and on. Ray Girardin, integrating the police department. This was before Coleman Young came and won on eliminating stress.
Yep. March with Martin Luther King Jr. In the streets of Woodward before.
Yes, absolutely.
DC.
I mean, and my dad was a part of that planning. I mean, Jerry Kavanaugh created a different culture in this town that said that African Americans are as much a part of the future and fate of this city as anybody else. And he lived that. What would you agree with me, Gerald?
No doubt about it. And to your point, Rev, about Jerry Kavanaugh, was that he marched on June.
She just gave you the date.
Yeah, 1963. Many people don't realize that Jerry Kavanaugh was at the front line of civil rights in this community.
Right.
Rev.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the housing issue, turn that mic off again, I think. Is it off? I mean, I just want to, you know, I mean, also, I don't know why my sound changes, but the civil service part of the city of Detroit, African Americans were not well represented in civil service government. You know, Jerry did all of that. I'm gonna tell one more story and I'll be done. I think I told you this story. So my mother, who happened to be white, was a part of the American Nurses Association, and saw how black nurses were not included in the structure, in the representation. So she found the Minority Nurses Association, organized with black nurses. And the American Nurses Association sued her in federal court. And so my dad got the word that the federal folks were coming to serve my mother, and my mother left the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. But they came to the house around 8 o'clock with Detroit police, federal agents, and banging on my dad's door, calling my dad a nigger, and he better open the door. And my dad got on the phone and called Jerry Kavanaugh. And Jerry Kavanaugh called Ray Girardin. I mean, they were literally trying to pull the hinges off the door. And you could hear in the speakers in the car, Ray Girard's voice telling Detroit police officers, you get the hell out of there right now. And when they left and the few agents that were there by themselves without protection, they took off too. But I mean, that's why it's important to have people in office you know, because other than that, they can do things to you and you have no recourse. And you're doing the same. I want you to know we support you, we love you, we think you do a great job. You show up in so many ways. I'm done now. Go ahead, Athena.
I appreciate that.
I'm tooting her horn.
Truth be told, that was like the first two topics, and that was the best way I could have ever wanted to be introduced to you, and seeing how you really are standing on the shoulders of people who are super strong in the community. So I was eating it up too.
A legacy of inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
Yeah.
now that legacy has reached you, Madame, what kind of leadership roles do you currently serve within the state Senate? Because you can't just get there and be a senator. You got to be like a super senator.
Well, I love that you say that because I actually started in the House in the minority. And so I just saw how important it is, not only leadership roles, but to have a position in the budget, but also the policy, to decide what the policy does, but also where the money goes. And so I went from minority to ran for the Senate. And so when I entered the Senate, I reached the leadership and I advocated to be assistant majority whip. So that allows me to do a little bit more of the politics on the floor and count the votes before they're there. So I can adjust what is needed a little bit closer to the vote, as well as the chair of the Michigan Legislative Latino Caucus, as well as I'm part of 9 committees, but more importantly, I'm chair of
So you're Irish, Hispanic.
Yeah, I'm Irish and Hispanic and chair of the Labor and Economic Opportunity. And I think that's a really great segue to my background and to how my grandfather and father fought for workers' rights, fought against police brutality, and for the community. And so I just want to continue to do that in my space.
Yeah. Do you know any of the folks that were part of that Kavanaugh caucus? Like Joe B. Sullivan, did that name ever come up to you?
Yes, Sullivan, and I think he's somewhat of a distant cousin. And I heard they used to meet at Nemo's right off.
Well, they
Woodward.
also used to be down at the Randora, which was a black hotel. The Detroit Council for Political Education, my dad and them formed with Joe Coles and Augustus Calloway. These were all people who were, embedded in that whole Kavanaugh movement. I mean, I couldn't spend a Memorial Day or 4th of July without seeing Jerry Kavanaugh, Phil Hart. We'd go to Damon Keefe's house, Oliver Broom. But there were a good group of people who were part of what Jerry brought into being, who not only tried to transform the civil government to better represent its citizens, right? But also in business and law, et cetera. And Joe and them were all part of that whole group of people with your grandfather.
Yeah, and I knew of them when I was a little bit younger, but like I think we were talking about is I stand on the shoulders of a lot of people, and a little bit ironically is I never wanted to be a politician when I was younger.
So how did it happen?
Yeah, because I saw it firsthand. I saw what you had to give up, and I also saw just what's happening now, the polarization. And so I took the values that I was given by my legacy and generation of my dad and my grandfather, and I knew I needed to give back.
Yeah.
So
let's do that.
Yeah.
You're running. We got 2 minutes. We come back.
Yeah.
We have you on more. But you're running in the August primary as a Democrat in Senate District what?
Senate District 6. And August primary is very important.
Well, that's it. If you don't win the primary, it's over.
Because it's about 96% Democrat.
Yes, yeah. And so tell us what that area is.
So as of 2020, it was redistricted, but then there was new lines. So you will be seeing new lines for the Senate districts that are normally around Detroit. Specifically, even mine, Senate District 6 currently includes Farmington, Farmington Hills, Livonia, Redford, and Detroit. Now it will only include Redford.
When you say now, you mean as of this election.
Thank you for that
Okay.
correction. Now, so when you vote in August and when you vote in November, that will be the new lines and it will take an effect in 2027.
So what are the new lines?
From 8 Mile to Livernois all the way down to Warren. So it's about
Right.
northwest
So
Detroit.
we're in your new district here.
Yep. Yes, you
We're in
are,
your
and
new
it's a large
district
district.
here, and you're moving into Detroit, which brings you back to that place where your family history is so much a part of everything. Do it. And the last thing I didn't mention, and Gerald will tell you this, Jerry Kavanaugh would have been governor except for the fact that he refused to allow the National Guard to come into Detroit because he felt they would slaughter African Americans. And he stood up to the president. He stood up to George Romney. Eventually, they were brought in over his, imprimatur. But can I say it? White folks never forgave him for it. We'll be right back after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call.
All right, we're live and living color here on the corner of Grand River, Wyoming. We need to take a moment to indicate to you that we're here every Saturday. Biscuits, grits, salmon, croquettes. I didn't see, did our new billboard go up yet? Because we got our billboard going up with everybody's picture. We had trouble kind of shifting it because Sabrina's on the end, so it kept flying like I'm talking about the billboard up there or outside the building. Yeah, we got a billboard. All right, Ed, got a question for Senator Mary Kavanaugh.
Yes, yeah. Well, is it Your Honor? How we addressed you?
Oh, Mary,
Senator,
Senator
Mary
Eddie,
Campbell, Senator Mary
friend,
Campbell.
Okay.
neighbor.
With respect, that's how you address
Okay,
them.
with respect then. What projects you currently working on, or what kind of your priorities?
I think that's a really great question because the governor just did a recommendation of not only her budget but also her state of the state, and it highlighted a big issue that I'm at. Michigan is 44th when it comes to fourth grade reading levels, and so pre-K and K through 12 education is my top priority.
Yeah.
And not only equity. Let's give the kids that need it most the resources to succeed. Second is affordable housing. Rent is just too damn high, and we need pathways to homeownership. And then third is their healthcare crisis. As we deal with healthcare, as we deal with SNAP coming down from the federal government, we really need to have safety nets here at the state. So those are going to be my priorities, not only in the legislature, but coming back.
I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
How about helping us seniors with our property taxes?
I love
reducing
that.
those.
Yep, and that's actually on my agenda too. I am actually the chair of finance, which includes tax property, and I sit on the budget. So we're looking at that property tax pop-up. So that is hindering people from moving and even hindering seniors from downsizing. So we're trying to figure out how that pop-up can either stay level or have a gradual increase. Because we are hearing even the Republicans propose no property taxes. And I want us to just take a look at what that might look like is a $5 billion deficit and hole in our budget. So we'd have to make it up through health and human services. So we're looking at support, but not blowing a hole through our budget.
Sabrina?
Real on that. Okay, so you said that that's what's going on now. Well, what else is going on like in legislature you just mentioned?
Absolutely. And even me as the chair of the Latino caucus, I am actually spearheading 3 immigration policies. So that means our officers can't wear masks and have to identify themselves when they're dealing with us. They need to go through due process. They can't enter spaces like our churches and our schools. We're seeing our kids even being scared to go to their bus stops. And lastly is our data has privacy, where police and others can't just hand off our data without a warrant. They actually need a purpose and cause. So there's that, as well as making sure championing our workers. We're going to see a lot of people struggling with these SNAP work requirements, as well as trying to maintain, I think it's 40 hours a week needing to be on or at school. And so we're making sure that there's going to be wraparound supports from getting you back into the work, transportation, or even daycare available for those individuals.
So we know that there are a lot of things that have changed under the Republican administration in terms of funding priorities. What are some of those that you think are probably the worst in terms of how they impact everyday working people?
So I would say the worst is just the complete slashing of our budget, not knowing and not getting into the weeds of who is this going to affect, what communities is it going to, is the return on investment for our communities better? So I think an overarching slash through our budget, what we saw last year, they cut every single program from Women's Commission all the way to labor of economic opportunity, apprenticeship programs for our young people, and before and after school programs, baby programs. So all of those are going to be top priority. We need to make sure health and human services is number one, where our people are healthy, going to work, or even staying at home, caring for their family members and getting the services that they need.
Ed?
Right.
Yes, and well, when we asked what's currently going on in the legislature, but I'm kind of curious as to what future projects may be going on within our community.
Yeah, future projects, especially as we talk about bigger projects, there's a lot of talk about bringing corporations in here and making sure it's good for our workers. My number one priority is we're going to give any money to businesses or corporations. They're going to be providing livable wages. They're going to be helping us with daycare and helping us with housing, as well as auto insurance. Auto insurance is supposedly supposed to get affordable, and it's just been going up. And auto insurance affordability and how they're rating us is a little bit inequitable. So I'd like to attack that and make it a little bit less burdensome on our seniors and our young people trying to get insured.
Well, you know what, and going along with that, because with the SNAP requirements of people having to put in work and the job availability,
yep.
You know, it's hard to, with transportation problems not within the city, it's hard for somebody to even go back and forth to work. But the only jobs really available fast food joints.
Yep, and even with that new health share Medicaid requirement, that'll also do a little bit of burdens there. So we really want an easier pathway for people to be insured, as well as making sure that their pockets are being available for groceries and available for other things that are needed instead of insurance, rent, or anything that daycare that people can't find for 2 years.
So
out.
people are always saying that who you vote for doesn't make a difference. And I always like to give some tangible examples of where that's not the case. One of the issues that we're working on at Dabo's is obviously livable wage. For example, at the Warren Evans terminal and the McNamara terminal, they got a modicum raise, but up until a few months ago, the wheelchair people were making $8 an hour and they would deduct tips from them. If you go to Atlanta or Florida, it's $22 an hour. Let me get to my point. And that is, the legislature approved a livable wage, and the voters approved it, and then the legislature came back and found a way around it. Can you tell us? Well, we're involved in the campaign and making it a part of the Constitution.
Yeah.
But tell us how people usurp the will of the people and how important that livable wage is.
Yeah, and I think even what we're seeing in the budget between Dems and Republicans is, or what we saw in the work projects, is we decided where money was going, and regardless what party you come from, there is taking back of money and then redeciding. So that's just in bad faith. And so it depends on who you vote for to what they're fighting for. If you actually like our before and after school programs, if you like free breakfast and free lunch, if you like auto insurance affordability, if you like corporate accountability, I do think that there's a party that is fighting for that. And another party in the House, I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but they do believe that more money in your pockets will give you the services you need. And we've just seen that over the last 40 years. That trickle-down effect to our communities isn't how it works, and we need to hold big businesses and corporations
It's not a
accountable.
trickle down, it's a flow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Sabrina?
doubt.
Oh my goodness. Being a person who's had to go through the process, and then the minimums for how much you are supposed to make, or the maximums rather, and then next to this idea that I can work a 40-hour work week for $12 an hour just so I can still have my childcare available. My question is this: how often is a livable wage actually assessed versus inflation?
So I think that's a really great question, because ever since the Democratic majority took over, as well as in the Senate, everything that we look at has to have a livable wage. If we're pushing policy that is helping corporations, if it's pushing policy helping communities, that we're paying people a livable wage, because we're seeing how ironic that looks, is making sure people are working, but they're working 40 hours and not enough to pay for their food, not enough to pay for their health care, and that's just simply wrong.
But because we have a feelings president, his feelings have led us into situations where inflation happens within hours.
Yeah.
So how can the legislature and everyone else who makes these decisions keep up with said feelings?
And I think that's a really great question to what Reverend Sheffield said, is my feelings about that is fighting back and looking at actual policy and bills. So it really matters who you're voting for, because no matter if it's Democrat or Republican, if they're doing something right or wrong, they need to stand up against
Two
them.
things real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, I endorse you for that
It's
seat,
an honor.
and we've already made that public. But the MDE, has always been an issue. I thought I saw some scuttlebutt this last week from the governor with some final pushback about MDE. I mean, I know it's autonomous. I mean, how do we deal with that beast?
I think we, again, going back to, it's not cut and gut, it's figuring out what's working and what's not. There's a reason why MDE was put in place, not only at the federal level, but also at the local. We're talking about our people and children that also need special needs, people that need that extra care. They get lost if we don't have that special look.
Yeah, but for them to be completely independent of the administration that we elect to run the state, that's a whole nother issue. We won't get too far.
Oh, yeah.
Tell people how they can support you for Senate, how they can contact your committee, donate, volunteer, whatever.
Well, I would be remiss to say, and I know we only have a couple minutes, I am the youngest woman to ever be elected in the Michigan State Senate. So I just...
And how old was that?
I was 30 years old when
Okay,
elected in the
all
Michigan
right.
State Senate, youngest female. And I would just encourage anybody to be active. We are dealing with a lot. It's overpowering. Just go out to your communities and support. To support me, it's just maryformichigan.com. You can volunteer, you can see, you can phone call, or even you could figure out any of the answers of holding people accountable. We will have a whole new House election. So majority's up, as well as Senate, as well as Governor, AG, Secretary of State. Educate yourself.
And obviously, I'm fond of Mary's. Mary was my mother. Mary's my daughter. And now we have another Mary who's a Kavanaugh. Vote for Mary Kavanaugh in August, and we'll have you back before then. Remember, never
Thank you so
ask
much.
anybody to do for you what you're unwilling to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
As always, we love you, Detroit.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.